Yo, what's up, fam? It's another City Block powered by City Image. Back at you again, man. This time I want to talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart. I think there's been a false idea that has kind of permeated the church, especially in the Western world, that much of the doctrine that we have, if not all of it actually, has simply been given to us by Europeans. That Black people have been known for their emotive response to Christianity, and they have not contributed at all to any sort of intellectual understanding of the faith. They have not pondered any deep thoughts concerning theology, and this simply isn't true. I mean, not only do we have modern day Black theologians, but I think it's also important to know that there were several highly important contributions to Christian doctrine done by North African theologians. I think it's important for us to understand that there have been people of African descent that have helped the world understand what God has revealed through the Christian faith. And just to name a few, an early church apologist known as Tertullian, who did work in terms of answering some of the pagan critiques of Christianity. He responded to a lot of different attacks that the Christian faith, misunderstanding that the Christian faiths had during the early church period. He was of Berber descent, an African people group. And he was also highly influential in developing the doctrine of the Trinity. He actually coined the term Trinity, and he was of African descent. Another important individual, Athanasius. Now, Athanasius was known as the Black Dwarf because he was short and very dark-skinned in his appearance. And Athanasius is another North African theologian known for his defense of the divinity of Christ, the deity of Christ. He had very important debates with Arius, who wanted to say that Jesus was he was made of an essence that was similar to the Father and not the exact same essence of the Father, right? This classic homoousios versus homoiousios debate. And so Athanasius is very key in defending the doctrine of the full deity of Christ. He was another Black theologian. And lastly, probably arguably the most important theologian of the church, St. Augustine. Now, Augustine was a highly influential character in church history. He contributed two fantastic philosophical / theological works in the City of God and his own confessions. His confessions just documenting his life before a Christian and his actual conversion. And he was responsible for systematizing a lot of popular doctrine concerning God's predestination, original sin, what us in the Reformed camp kind of hold dear. And I think many people have recognized that without Augustine's work, the Protestant Reformation would not have even happened because you had a lot of theologians like Luther and Calvin going back to Augustine. And Augustine is a North African theologian. And so this history, unfortunately, doesn't get taught in a lot of our seminaries today. And I can speak personally as a young African American. I was basically brainwashed into thinking that my people had nothing to do with the development of Christianity. But if you do your research, it's out there. And so while we recognize that God speaks through various cultures and we thank our European brothers for the work that they've done, we do need to recognize when other cultures have contributed to Christian thought as well. So it's a lot there to be proud of as Black people as we partake in systematizing and explaining God's truth to the world. All right, this has been Bryant the Theological Giant with another City Block. See you in the next one.